was just counting down the numbers as they made nice boop noises. Right, this is another instalment. Belt up, stay strapped. It's a long one. But this is a bunch of emails that I sent to Air Transit when they didn't give me my fucking money back, and I wanted it back, so I got it back. Brief history of the story was that I was on my way to Canada, bought a flight from Air Transit because they're the cheapest, and I was a broke little ski bum. And I think if memory serves me right, I bought the ticket online and then I phoned up the helpline to book extra legroom tickets because it wouldn't let me buy them on the website. So yeah, gave him a call, specifically asked this bloke if those legroom seats had a bulkhead in front of them, and if so, I don't want that, because literally this bone does not fit in between the seat that I'm sitting on and the bulkhead in front, because I'm a lanky streak of piss. I think we opted for the aisle seats where there's like a big bit of room, you've got a TV on the chair in front. It was, oh God knows how much it was. It was quite a lot for it, just to choose which chair you're going to sit on. Paid it, whatever amount period of time went by, I got on the flight, get on there, everything's all good, stretch my feet out, I'm like, right, fucking hell, let's do this 10-hour journey again. Take off, everything's all good, start flying around in the old space upstairs. And yeah, people start mingling around and people start using the toilet, and like, all's good. I've got my headphones on, I don't care, I can't hear the toilet. Until like you start looking up and you can just get that feeling that someone's about to do something stupid, and there's people waiting on one side but the other side's got no person waiting outside the toilet, so you can see them just like eyeing up the gap which is between the two toilets, and regardless if they just walked to the end of the plane and went round the edge and then came back, they'd be able to use that side, but you can see that they're just like, oh, I'll just skip through there because I can't bother to wait. Like, the fucking impatience of someone to not even be able to walk up a plane and go around to the end, and actually rather trample over someone's feet that's like sitting there peacefully, that's paid a load of money to actually sit there and have that legroom. It's almost like people are jealous. They're like, fuck his legroom, I'm just going to walk over it all. So one person, I could see it in their face, they just started like eyeing it up, and then without even saying sorry, nothing, just like trampled over my feet like a fucking elephant, like under the wire that was plugged into the TV with my headphones in it, in front of me, underneath it, like climbing through three people's shit over 6 legs, and then just like said nothing and just walked straight into the toilet and like did their business. When they came back out, they did exactly the same thing and then just fucked off. I was like, do you fucking mind? Like, I'm sitting here. So I was like, well, fucking whatever. Like, there's going to be one idiot that does it. But no, it opened up a chain reaction of people like, oh, well, fucking hell, he did it. So, like, I'll go over there. And then, like, 3 or 4 more people. And in the end, I was just like, I've called over the woman and was just like, can you tell people to stop walking through my fucking feet? Because, like, I'm trying to watch TV, I'm trying to sit here, people are standing on my feet. Like, can you just tell them on the tannoy to just stop walking through there? I've been on other flights, I think a BA flight, where they just took literally like a piece of fabric with Velcro on either side and just stuck it on the seat, and that was like a barrier so that you knew not to walk through there. But no, they were like, oh, we can't really stop technically, it's walkway, blah, 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 between the exits. And I was like, so, yeah, I put up with it. A couple more people did it, whatever. I got a bit pissed off with a couple of people. It was really, really fucking annoying. So, but in the end, I just shut up and put up with it. But when I got home, I was like, I paid, 120 quid or whatever it was to get those seats, and then just spent the entire flight being raging and pissed off and like having people stand on my toes. So I sent them an email and was just like, I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but I just went, well, you know, I want the money back for the legroom. I don't really believe that that's an extra legroom seat. If you have it in a walkway, then you have no extra legroom because you've got to keep moving your legs out of the fucking way. Or people were like ripping, like at one point, it actually, someone tagged my wire as they were stepping over it, and it pulled my bloody thing out of the screen. I was just like, Jesus. So I sent them this letter, and then they replied with the most mumbo jumbo email, and I'll read a little bit of it here. Thank you for contacting Air Transit. We appreciate your time and effort in providing this valuable feedback. Customer feedback, whether good or bad, is always welcome as it helps shape the future of products and services that we offer and the way that we do business. We carefully review every bit of feedback and where appropriate and make necessary changes. Allow us to mention that our aircraft is common with other carriers in the industry and is configured to achieve a utilisation which enables us to offer an attractive prices through our tour operator and travel agencies. However, be assured that all of our configurations meet and exceed the standards imposed by relevant authorities and manufacturers. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? We regret to learn that you were displeased with the pre-selected seats and can certainly understand your frustration during a flight. We expect passengers to act in a civil way, and we regret that this was not the case. Although we can sympathise, regrettably we cannot control the degree of passengers aboard our aircrafts. This being said, when choosing an exit row or bulkhead seating located near the lavatories, it can occur that passengers be slightly disturbed by other patrons waiting to use the toilets. Slightly disturbed would be like someone knocking your arm or getting a waft of their stinky shit. Standing on your toes and ripping your own media devices out of the screen that you pay to watch is an absolute fucking atrocity. We can confirm that the seats that you reserved and received are extra legroom seats, and therefore we respectfully decline your request for a refund. In closing, our apologies are reiterated, and we truly hope that despite these events we will still be able to regain your confidence, and we look forward to the pleasure of serving you in the near future. Yours sincerely, Air Transit people. I thought that was one of the biggest cop-outs, mumbo jumbo, corporate nonsense, taradiddly piddly piece of piss fucking email I'd ever received. Maybe a little bit mad. So, when I'm inspired and motivated with a little bit of emotion to write something back to them, I often go a little bit off the rails. So instead of arguing with an email which seemed like a point blank refusal, I decided to take a different approach, which was rewrite their email for them so that we were both on the same page, and then I would basically they would know that I was not taking any of their bullshit. So I decided to rewrite the email, and I'll read that now for you. Hello, I have decided to translate the contents of your email into a more honest reply with terms that real humans talking to one another can actually understand, so that we can both start on the same open page, then reevaluate and discuss it further. Thank you for contacting Air Transit. We admire your persistence and even bothering to try and get in contact with us, especially after we ignored your emails for 2 months. Your opinion, whether good or bad, is pointless and irrelevant to us. It will never change the products or services that we offer or the way we do business, because we literally don't care what you think. We tend to reply with generic but very well written emails that make us sound like a company that gives a shit before carefully filing your stupid opinion in the trash storage folder and continuing to roll around in your hard-earned money. Let us remind you that while our aircraft looks and acts similar to other aircrafts in the industry with attributes such as wings, wheels, seats and windows, we actually have decided to devalue comfort in order to maximise capacity and subsequently our profits. We advertise attractive prices on travel agency websites, but when you get to the checkout, we add the little fees on at the end and makes our once attractive prices twice the bloody price and only a few dollars less than other higher quality airlines. Best bit is, then we charge you more money to choose your seat and even more money on top of that to choose a seat with extra legroom. But the best bit is that half the extra legroom seats are in passenger walkways and behind bulkheads, so you don't actually improve your experience whatsoever. But you don't know that until you're on the plane, which is too late for you to do anything, and we've already got your money. On top of that, we are the cheapest, and we think that you have no right to complain. However, be assured that we just meet the bare minimum requirements and standards imposed by the relevant authorities and manufacturers so that we can get away with it. It's genius, really. You consumers are really, really dumb. Really, really, really dumb. We're not surprised to learn that you're unhappy with your seats, that we will very cleverly describe as pre-selected in order to make you believe that you are in fact at fault for booking the seats yourself. This is also a manipulative attempt to make you feel stupid for complaining, even though our incompetent and ill-informed helpline sold you those seats with the guarantee that you would have extra legroom. During a flight, we naively expect 800 passengers crammed into a small space for 9 hours, breathing in flatulence and airborne germs, listening to crying babies and snoring granddads to act in a civil way. And we regret that our ill-equipped staff did not use their initiative to quite easily alleviate your complaint, despite bringing it to their attention multiple times. Although we do try to sympathise, regrettably we can't. We don't fly in economy. We fly in first class, with your money. And we also have no idea what we're doing when it comes to controlling a large amount of tired, frustrated, uncomfortable humans in a small, smelly environment. Passengers have no reason to cross between the sides of the plane, as there are multiple toilets on both sides of the aircraft, especially when the other side of the plane can be achieved by access... Especially when access to the other side of the plane can be achieved at the front or the rear of the aircraft and would actually provide passengers with a satisfying walk up and down the plane during a long flight. Despite this being a viable and pleasing option, we prefer to just let passengers do whatever the hell they want, with no concern to other passengers, especially those that have paid additional fees to make their flight more pleasurable. We can confirm we do advertise those seats as extra legroom. However, as previously mentioned, one of them's behind a bulkhead, so therefore has little or no extra legroom, and the other is technically a walkway, so if you utilise the extra legroom that we charged you for, people will constantly walk on your feet for the entirety of the flight. We don't accept that the civility of passengers is our duty, despite this literally being the definition of our job. We cover our backs with words and legislation so that we don't actually have to care about customer satisfaction, and therefore we ain't giving you nothing. In closing, our incompetence and torpid attitude to customer service is reiterated, and we truly hope your financial situation does not improve so that you are forced to keep using our terrible yet self-proclaimed attractively priced service, and we look forward to taking your money again if that is the case. Bastards. This is all I can say about that. In the same email, I then decided to kind of reply to my own email that I'd written. So I started it with this. Now that we have opened a raw and a set... Use your words, Kieran. Now that we have opened a raw and authentic space, I feel comfortable enough to bear a little bit of my soul, so I've written you a poem in the hope that you can acknowledge the error in your ways and we can swiftly move forward into some kind of pleasurable solution to my complaint. This poem is called Greed. I'm just going to get in my poem voice. Greed, like gluttony, one of the 7 sins thus feeds. A soul that is suffering power over the weak it needs. One that needs nothing, takes from those who have none. My plane ride was rubbish, and I require a refund, you plum. If one seeks a dictionary and and searches with persistence, the word service is defined as an act of help or assistance. I was neither supported or assisted while I travelled some distance, so I would resist to agree and deny air transit's right to claim its existence. A monetary exchange was performed for this service. No service was exchanged, and you seem surprised to have learned this. Baking cakes is fun, and so is eating the burned bits, but I gave you dollars for nothing, and I'd like you to return it.
Or Smeagol will haunt you. I'll tell him you have depression.
Pressure your establishment until my motivation depresses.
Evil little transits and their nasty written letters. They can't beat me with words. I bet they'd forget this.
Now listen up, you nitwits. In England we drink tea with our biscuits. You Canadians have Caesars filled with celery and meat sticks. And despite all our differences, beveragey choices and ridiculous literatures, I see your dismissal for a refund. So halfway I'll meet yous. I've purchased another flight from you fucking leeches, despite all your bad features. My money can only stretch as far as it reaches. I guess that makes me a hypocrite almost as much as it does facetious, but I suggest you think quick before my words leave you speechless. So please us, I've even written you a damn poem. I've already purchased more legroom on the next flight I go on. Confirmation number MMOP7Q seat 4K, you know it. So if you have any customer service, now's the time to show it. Don't show off with another fancy but stupid written letter. You never know if the recipient can write a letter better. You better to keep people happy than to receive a written lecture. If you're wondering if I'll never stop, then I'd have to say, you betcha. So here's the end of this lecture. And I'll write more if you need. All I want back is the seat charge returned and the extra legroom fees. I can take this further and further to the top, if you please. So give me back my money and set yourself free from your greed. Please refer me to your manager. Thanks, Kieran Hutchings. As you can imagine, if that landed on your desk on a Monday morning, I don't know if there's any amount of coffee or sugar or crack in the world to have the patience to try and reply to that. So they didn't. They didn't reply to it for 2 months. Until I sent them another letter, and I was a little pissed off that they hadn't sent it to me, so I gave them a little bump of the thumbs up, like, hey, got my email, bro? Then I got a generic response that said, thank you for contacting customer service and thus allowing us the opportunity to review your feedback. If your email concerns a past trip, it will be assigned to one of our customer service specialists for investigation and response. Our goal is to provide you with an answer in under 30 days, as some of our correspondences could be more complex and we may require additional response delay. Again, I don't like emails that don't say anything. So I replied to that email with this. Air Transit should really think about setting more achievable goals. It would help with morale, potentially improve staff efficiency and in turn customer satisfaction, because right now your customer service department is about as useful as a left-handed screwdriver. just to calculate, it has been 238 days since I received this email. 446 days since my last email, and 635 days in total since my original complaint. We are fast approaching the 2-year anniversary, and I would really like to have this settled as soon as possible so that I can start the party plans. A tired and withered lover, Kieran Hutchings. Six hundred and 35 days. I mean, if you haven't lost patience in that time, which, I mean, I've got all the patience in the world to get things back that are rightfully mine, and I just kept sending them emails. I think in total, all of the emails that I sent, there must have been 10. Probably sent them 10, just like, hello, have you received my email yet? It's been a couple of months since this. Hello, have you done this? It's been 100 and so fucking days. About time you gave me this back. And they just ignored every single one of them. And I just think that's just absolutely ridiculous that someone can just do that. Anyway, they weren't going to pay me back. They're trying to get rid of me. I think maybe after 2.5 years of receiving emails from me, they just in the end decided that let's just get rid of this guy. So they sent me a voucher for $200, which covered the seat extra legroom charges. And the beautiful part of this whole bloody story is that I used that voucher on another flight, and just like as a giant fuck you to Air Transit, I used it on another flight, and then that flight I didn't get on because their staff told me the wrong advice at the checkout desk when my ETA didn't work, and then they told me not to tick a certain box, and then I didn't, and then my ETA got denied and I couldn't get on the flight, which meant another person could get on the flight, funnily enough, because they'd overbooked it as well, which is another thing that airlines like to do, is just sell your seats to someone else, just in case people don't turn up. And again, I asked for a refund on that because it was not my fault that they wouldn't let me get on. They advised me wrong to do the ETA, yet they still refused that refund on that. It was over 2 months that it took me of like 10 emails to that woman to get my money back, because she was just saying, oh, we don't refund flights, blah blah blah, we're out of pocket. And I was like, you're not out of pocket, you literally overbooked the flight, sold more tickets than you had available, and then I didn't get on, and then someone else sat in my seat. So, like, if anything, you've got more money than you started with. But I used that voucher on that flight. She then eventually agreed to give me a refund because I wasn't getting on the flight under special circumstances. So the fucking idiots refunded me the whole flight without taking into account the voucher that I'd used. So after 2.5, well, it would have been about two and 3/4 years, I made $400 from these idiots being dickheads, and I just thought that was quite a nice little lesson for people. Don't let people walk all over you. Don't let people steal shit from you that's not even fucking legal. Like, they're doing illegal things, and they know it. And it's not until you just say, hang on a second, that's not allowed, that they'll even give you their money back. So yeah, complain. Even if you have to wait 2.5 years. Don't expect everyone to do that. It's a bit of a long time, but you know, a couple of hours of emails over 3 years, and I made myself £400. So fuck you, Air Transit, and don't mess with me. I'll write you a big long email.